takes me a long time to get out of places because folks want to say hi. And there's some great,
yeah.
some awful nice people.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, Governor.
Morning.
Thanks very much for coming over. We appreciate you stopping by. I know you got a million things going on throughout the state. Tell me a little bit. You're here at Valpo Life, Portage Life. Our focus is all on new media, internet, online, social networking, electronic communication. How do you see that whole world, and what kind of advice would you be given to the folks that you work with all the time?
Well, it's obviously real. It's here to stay. So I think we have to both adjust to it and hope to maximize it for the good of society, the better information of people. I'll just say how taken I am with the idea of Valpo Life, Portage Life, and I hope to become other lives as you grow up here, because if there's anywhere I can think of where this new vehicle really fits the needs of people, it's probably up here in Northwest Indiana, where there's simply, it's nobody's fault, but folks don't get much information, for instance, about the state they live in. They get a ton of information about Illinois,
Yep.
or even Wisconsin maybe, or Michigan, but very, very hard for them to know things that every other Hoosier knows. And also I would say that after years and years of coming up here, that there's a lot of room to build a sense of community, and we're in this together. There's still an awful lot of us against our neighbors in Northwest Indiana that, again, just doesn't exist in most of the rest of the state, and maybe your enterprise here can be a little bit of vehicle for improving that.
You mentioned business there. One of the keys, and you see it out of every recessionary cycle, the primary driver of that resurgence is usually small business. We focus an awful lot on small businesses dealing with local people in the community. What are the items in your agenda, so to speak, that help those small businesses out and help them grow?
Well, first of all, you're right. That's where the jobs come from, is new enterprises, and they almost always start out small. Everything we've done for 6 years has been to try to make Indiana a more friendly place, a place where you have a better chance to risk a buck and get it back.
Yep.
And that means lower taxes, and that means keeping our regulations reasonable and being quick with answers. If people want to get in business, we want them to get in business fast, have a go at it. The property tax reductions that we implemented are big time important to small business.
You're generally known as a fairly direct communicator, sort of cut to the chase, speak it in language that people can understand.
It's a Hoosier. It's a Hoosier thing. That's the way
probably makes some people love you. Probably makes some people, crazy about you in not a love-oriented way. How do you bring that business-oriented communication style to politics, which often doesn't communicate that candidly?
Yeah. In terms of direct talk, I think it's what people deserve, and I just think it's good practice, and as I said a minute ago, I think it's more or less an Indiana trait to speak plainly and honestly. Of course, particularly when you're recommending big change, which is what we came to do and what we've tried to do all the time. By definition, some folks aren't going to agree. There'll be folks who are uncomfortable with the change or who benefit from the status quo, and I think it's better to just have an open discussion about why making certain changes we think is good for everybody or for most people, and then do your best to make them happen.
Last thing I got to ask you.
Yeah.
There's the announcement. There's the anticipation. There's there's all the wonder. Anything that you've got to tell the world on Valpo Life and Portage Life from an announcement standpoint?
I believe that Valpo U is going to the NCAA tournament this year.
Thanks for sharing the news.
Let me break it here on Valpo Live. No, I got to watch them live play Butler. One game they didn't win, but they've had a lot of injuries. I was with Coach Drew, one of the great people of our state. Last night, he and I took in a high school ball game and just got caught up. And if his team gets healthy, I think they are the team to beat in their league, and they will have a record that deserves going to the tournament. And it'd be great to see them back in there.
good old Indiana basketball. you know.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, thanks very much.
I
for
enjoyed
coming.
it.
Appreciate this.
Thanks
very
for having
much.
us.
And glad to hear you up on everything that's going on.
We'll come back sometime.